how dirty they get. Pretty much like white paint. I like to use this square. Here's one tip I learned today. Make sure that you cover this thing.
That one, I believe 100%. And the main reason is because...
It's waterproofing day for our concrete foundation on the shed. Fun fact, the waterproofing video from the house is the most popular one, so we're hoping you will enjoy this one. We have also, we are delivering on our promise from episode 2 where we say we would get something to you on video. We have it on this one. And today, well, we're going to be applying a conditioner, our Bituthene waterproofing membrane, Mastic for the cold joints, and that's gonna be it. So let's get into it. Let's start by cleaning up. So we use the hammer to get rid of these little bumps that are left from the forms, and then we use the broom to clean this up. We also need to take out any nails that we can. Sometimes they leave them, the ones that hold the forms, so we're going to remove them with this thing. And let's just do it. So Hector, you're up.
The foundation surface is cleaned to an acceptable level. Then the next step is to apply the conditioner. With the conditioner, time is against us, so I need to apply it, and then we just need to wait maybe an hour, hopefully more, because the longer you wait, ideally 24 hours, the stickier it gets. But it is what it is. 1 hour is recommended minimum by the manufacturer. It is pretty straightforward. We just roll it. You might have seen this before. And yeah, so let's get it done. So one last thing to note about the conditioner is its purpose. If you've been near green concrete or pretty much any kind of concrete, it's like very dusty. And so let's say you apply a piece of duct tape. You apply it and then it's super easy to remove because there's all this dust that the duct tape attaches to, but it's not attached to the wall. So what the conditioner does is it makes all that dust and the concrete walls cohesive form, and so when you stick something to it, it sticks to the wall, not to the dust so much. So it makes for a better, longer lasting stick.
At this point, I have spent a good 15-20 hours of my life cutting Bituthene, and I've learned a thing or two. So let me show you how I do this. So the tools I use is, you're going to need a cutter and you're going to need blades, and don't be cheap on this. The blades need to be relatively sharp, and honestly, once you're done, you're going to discard them because look at how dirty they get. So that's one thing. I also like to use one of these markers. This one is from Milwaukee. It's pretty much like white paint. I got these ones at Home Depot, but there are also versions at Walmart and whatnot. Then just a regular marker, measuring tape for obvious reasons. I like to use this square, because it has a very long edge. Tape, I'll show you in a moment what this is for. And I look for a board that I can use to put under the Bituthene. So I already measured everything, so this is what I do. Oh, and very important, kneecaps. These are your friend. So I put it down, like so. And then with this one, this edge is from the factory and it's going to be straight. One thing I should mention, the lines you see here, they are straight, but they are not always accurate. So don't trust that this is the center of the Bituthene. If you need to cut it in half, you need to measure and mark. So once I do it like this, I have my mark here. I put my square, I align it with the edge, like so. And once I have it when I want it, what I found very useful is to just put my knee in there, put my square here, and I start not from this edge because it's sticky, but right here. And it usually takes 2 passes. And then I just flip this and do this nasty edge in here. And there you go. I'll push this because I don't have one that it's long enough. Same thing here. I put it here and I put my knee on top and cut. Now, if you do this the other way around, be careful because Bituthene's purpose in life is to stick to any surface, to anything, and to itself like there's no tomorrow. And that's what makes it an amazing product, but it's annoying to work with. If you're doing it the other way, make sure that your ruler is not set like so, because it's going to stick. And that's how I cut it. Now, the next tip I have for you, I like to mark everything. Especially if you're doing several cuts of the same size, it's easy to lose track of how many you have done. So for example, this one says it's 6 feet long, and this is 12 out of 13 I need to do. This one is 13 out of 13. So if I need to stop, I know where I left off. If I need to change to another roll, I know what number I'm on. I mark it here, and I also like to mark it on the other side. So this one is 6 feet, 12 out of 13, and the next one is 6 feet, 13 out of 13. Ta-da! Before we go, here's one tip I learned today. So my marker it was already messed up at the tip, like if you try to write, it's pretty wide and it was messy. And I was trying to shave it, and look what I found. You can just pull it out, flip it, and now you have a very nice edge to work with. So, pro tip. This is what happens when you reach the end of the roll. Right here you can see it stick to itself, but you have a good 16 inches in here. And that's not a gift. When Bituthene tells you the roll, it's 66.7 feet. It's also counting for this. So, to separate it, this one it's pretty simple. I'm just pushing it. Sometimes it's not that easy and you need to cut. So what you do is you just go like that, but make sure that you cover this thing. That's what the tape is for. I already put it in here. If you don't cover, this is going to make a mess. Now once you have done cutting, you need to ideally lay them flat, and make sure that these borders don't touch each other, because if they do, they stick to themselves and you may end up with wasted material. And the other tip I can give you is, if you have any leftover pieces, I find it pretty helpful to measure them. Oh, you see, now I got stuck in here. I find it really helpful to measure them and just put the measurement somewhere. It's going to save you a lot of time. If you need a small piece, you don't have to go and look around for fitting them. You just know if it's going to fit or not. When you select where you're going to cut Bituthene, make sure you find a surface that it's pretty smooth. It's, for example, if you are right there, even if you have a long area, the stones can really damage the paper that it's behind. It's pretty easy to break, and when you apply Bituthene, if the paper breaks, it's a pain in the neck. So look for it's more important to have a smooth surface than a flat surface. One more thing, interior, if you cut it in interiors, is great because it's clean, but it stinks, so make sure you have good ventilation.
While we wait for the conditioner to be ready, the next step is to apply Mastic along all the cold joints. A refresher, the cold joint is pretty much anything that was poured as a separate piece, like hardened and then liquefied. In that case, it's going to be the stem wall to footing joint. I should mention this is one of the adjustments we made from our previous video, from our learnings. We got this Henry Extreme Rubberized Mastic. We got it at Home Depot. And if you remember from that video, I was struggling with the GCP caulk gun, and then the Polywall blue barrier works great, and you can order it if you'd like. But the reason I like this is because it's super easy, super malleable. I can do whatever I want, versus the caulk gun that you push and then it just keeps coming out and out. And then you have also the spatula, which allows you to easily do what you want with it. Another nice thing about getting this at Home Depot is you can buy a couple, and then if you don't end up using the other one, you can just go return it. While if you order like from Polywall or something, maybe you can return it, but there's the shipping and handling, and then it just makes it inefficient to do that. So, so I mentioned the cold joint, but then we also have to cover all the big holes that there might be in the foundation. So here's a perfect example of let's say big hole. Typically it's like a 1 inch by 1 inch deep. It's hard to tell here, it's not necessarily a hole per se. But fortunately for us, this foundation turned out pretty nicely, and we only have a few spots to take care of, so let's do it. And you can see how easy and nice the spatula is. I should definitely mention, get ready to be dirty when you play with Mastic. So even our car got dirty even if we didn't want to. So one pro tip, be ready for it. We had a little slowdown, we got some rain, so unfortunately we had to stop, but all the mastic is around the perimeter of the control of the cold joints. And now we just pretty much begin to lay the Bituthene. It's pretty straightforward, it's just peel and stick, and then it's very important to roll it, so just check it out.
Here's another item that I owe you, and it's how to detail the corners. So you're going to need 2 pieces for an internal corner. One is one of these, it's got the spans, and then just a random triangle here. This could be like between 9 inches and 1 foot. And what you do if you have an internal corner is you would stick one side first. So imagine we do this one. Well, let's do this one. And then you hold this up, put it like this, and then put the other one. And there you go. And to cover this little thing here, that's where you use the triangle. Put it right there, and you're all set. Now, external corners. External corners are more complicated, and it's like the one I have right here. So you need 3 pieces for that one. You need the pants that I showed you last time. Then you need a square, and then you're going to cut like 2 triangles here. And you also need your little triangle. And what you do is, first you put this one, like so. One side goes here, and yeah, maybe my camera needs to move, so one side goes here, and the other one goes here. And once you have that, then you bring your triangle to cover this little gap. You would put it like that. And then with the pants, you just go on top, like so. You roll every single piece as you are putting them, and that's it. There you have it. Let's talk about waterproofing the footings. So first of all, per Bituthene's instructions, if you're going to have your slab about 6 inches or more above the footing, then you don't need to waterproof them. You can end Bituthene right here. In our case, our slab is about 3.5 feet up there, so we are not required by Bituthene to do this. Now, if you remember, for the main house, we did do it. It took us forever. I think we spent 3 days just doing the footings. It took a ton of material. So in this case, we decided not to do it, like per the instructions, one by one. But we did something that it's going to protect the footing, and what we're doing is we're applying the Bituthene and then we're just continuing and covering it. The step that we are missing is that the recommended instructions are to include a strip here that covers 6 inches here, 6 inches down, and on top of that, then you put the Bituthene. So we're skipping that part, but this is going to protect us. It's better than not doing anything, but it's not quite what you would see if you see Bituthene's instructions.
Alright, day 2, we worked pretty hard last night to take care of all the Bituthene peel and stick. At this point, all that remains is to apply the mastic top and bottom. I have already started applying the mastic, so we're almost done, so let's get to it.
Ta-da! There you have it. It's done. So
yeah, we're done with the waterproofing. It was like piece of cake. The changes we made worked out pretty well. Maybe the caulk mastic would have been great for the corner. It's just a little bit of a pain with the canned version with the spatula, but yeah, it worked out great. It was like a piece of cake. This took us like how long? Like 12 hours?
Yeah, it's like a mini version of that one. This one was 12-ish hours against 9 days that we spent on the big house.
Yeah. It's now hot. As you can see, I'm wearing my hat. I'm starting to think maybe I like the cold weather a little bit more, but
yes.
Hey, whatever. So yeah, we're done. So let's move on to the insulation. Hopefully we can finish that in one day too. So thank you for watching.
See you in the next one. Bye-bye.